Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Monsio. I wanted to come and say hello. I hope you're having a nice day, of course, and that you're well and happy, and everything is unfolding. For life is changing, is transmuting, and things are gonna get a little bit more serious. You gotta be ready for that. For life will get more serious. It'll still be fun, but it'll be more serious as time goes on. We are assuming more space, more alignment, more empowerment within ourselves, and so we'll have to assume more energy. The painting behind me, it's a painting that's not finished, but I just wanted to show its evolution. It is a painting about cosmology. It continues to grow and evolve, and it will eventually be settled. I'm just using it to the orchids that's kind of moving into it, but it is something that is in process. It is growing and evolving. I'm going to pull a few cards. I'm going to show a couple more paintings. Talk about a few subjects also. I'm going to pull a few cards to read how our chakra works. Our chakras are energy connected to our light body. They are energy systems that that are invisible, but are very, very conditioning of what is going on within ourselves. The root is at the base of our spine. The color is red, and it's ruled by the planet Pluto. It is where all the challenges are. So it is all the challenges, and here we have knowledge. So it's about true knowledge. It's about integrating this transcendental knowledge, what life reveals to us every day, to be able to integrate that and to fill it up. And actually, he's red. He's wearing red, and it's the beloved Mahashia. Or she, Mahashia. And so it is about the power of the 5 too. 5 is very powerful, moving into 5 dimensions. It is the number 5. And so 5, we have a 5 finger. And so to remind us that we come from the 5th dimension. Then on the navel, which is the sacral chakra, which is the chakra of harmonization, where the yin and the yang it's ruled by the astral plane. It rules all the astral plane, which is the earth plane, and it is ruled by Saturn. It is governed by the color orange. And here we have reconciliation. We are making peace with every aspect of ourselves and with the world. So there is a great deal of empowerment that will come from being able to reconcile ourselves and to let go of whatever may still be lingering, for there is no need for holding grudges. It's forgiveness will set us free. Then we move into our power center, the solar plexus, which is it's a yellow light. It shines yellow light. It is our power, and it is ruled by the navel chakra is ruled by Saturn. That's the lord of karma, and then the third chakra is ruled by Jupiter. And here we have compassion, so it is great, it is wonderful. Those are 3, the creative chakra. It is about radiating compassion for ourselves and for others. For compassion, lucidity, and courage are essential to our ascension. So it is about discovering love, how to nurture love, how to be compassionate with others. That being said, anyone that does not want to hear about those things in the light, we want to educate as much as possible the world. We want to let them know that it is good to be truthful, to be straight, to be righteous, to be sincere, but to move into to work on ourselves, to do all those things. But those who do not want it, let them go. They will not let them go. They have other lessons to learn. So there is nothing you can do. You cannot force somebody to go into this river, to drink in the river. If they say they don't want it, just let them go. And so it is important to understand that, also to show the way to others, but not to do the work for them. Everybody's got to do his own work, to his own research, his own discovery. We're not here we can show a banquet of consciousness, but we're not here to pre-chew the food for others. They have to choose their own food, and they have to learn to eat it up and digest it as well. So it is all spiritual food is like material food. You have to choose it, you have to ingest it, you have to digest it, you have to integrate it, and then it gives you the energy you seek. Then on the heart chakra is the neutral chakra. It is emerald green light that is governing. It's a really big chakra. Eventually we'll come to realize this chakra englobes the whole process of whole creation. We all live within the heart of God in truth, and love can expand and grow throughout all dimensions. And here we have intuition. So it's about developing this incredible intuition. Intuition will lead us to greater knowledge, greater truth, greater. It is the little voice that leads us to. For the voice of spirit is never loud. It is very just a whisper. It is a subtle voice. For the ego will shout in our mind, but sometimes the ego will shout shout all kinds of things. But the voice of the soul and the spirit is always soft, always. So it is about following this intuition, following. Intuition is basically the instinct in animal, is the tropism in vegetal, is the instinct in animal. It is the intuition in man, but in the Buddha, it's the supraconscious of illumination. Eventually, you come to realize your true essence is light. The true essence of the soul is the light, and so you become enlightened because you recognize that there is only light within yourself. And in that idea, we need to reconnect to the sun. The physical sun, soul, is the power center of all the physical realm, but it is also a spiritual being of great magnitude, and we need to create this rainbow bridge. If we can let go of our physical presence and let our consciousness move through this rainbow bridge into our solar nature, we'll see what you find there, and then you come back and bring this solar disk once you can return. So it is exercises to understand the sun is always there, always available to shine and to show the way. And so the sun should be not worshipped, of course, but should be loved and recognized as the power center, and their true nature is the star. We all come from the star. We are all connected to countless galactic families that will soon come to reconnect, our soul families. Then there will be many new chakras that will be opening, or the thymus, for instance. I want to say the thymus, to activate the thymus is our immune system. Often when you're a child, the thymus in advanced society is as big as the heart. The thymus grows as big as the heart, and so we are never sick. But on the earth, we're still a bit trapped by pharmaceutical illusion, and so when we receive the vaccination, the thymus shrinks and it remains like a tiny little. So that's why we get sick. It's because, but if we would allow it to develop naturally without interference, the thymus would take a lot more space, and we will eventually become immune to. But yet the I am presence can transmute all those pharmaceuticals. There's nothing to worry about. To reactivate the thymus, you need to just to do that for about 2-3 minutes, not too strong, but. When you breathe and you do that, it activates the thymus, and the thymus is the sacred heart as well. But here we're going to move into the throat chakra, which is governed by Chiron. Of course, the sun is governed by the sun. Huh? The heart is governed by the sun. This chakra is governed by Chiron, who's making the sacrifice of healing, the healing all the bodies, aligning all the bodies. And here we have love. So. And it is shared with our I am presence, and it is this chakra is very powerful. It's what we communicate, it's what we receive, it's what we nourish ourselves mentally, emotionally, all the words we speak, all the things that come into our body. It's a very powerful chakra, and it's governed by Chiron, the planet Chiron. Then in the third eye, it's indigo. This is blue, blue colors. Then we have indigo in the third eye chakra, which is a seed of consciousness, most important chakra to learn to open our third eye, to keep it really wide open. Sometimes we see things we don't always want to see, but it doesn't matter. We have to take it all and balance it all, just remain detached emotionally. But as we open this chakra, it's governed by Neptune. It's the realm of dreams, and here we have potentiality. So it's about looking into the potential. For life will always show us the potential, the future, what is ahead of us. It doesn't always tell us that, well, I had many visions once. I mean, many. I am a guardian of the realm of the higher vision, and therefore for decades I've been receiving visions, like countless visions, and sometimes they show me some things that's so far in my future, and so I say, wow, I want it now. Well, but because there is no time in the time and space, it doesn't. For the soul, it's all one. For the spirit, it's all one. Past, present, future happens in the same time. So it could be, you could see something in potentiality that's right ahead, right around the corner, but it could be something that's far away in the future. When you receive vision, they're here as inspiration to show you the potential, that what is ahead of you, and no one can all those things that you see coming into your mind of course, it's the dark visions, they are illusion, shadows that are being projected to confuse you. But if it's something that's wanted and ecstatic or enjoyment, something beautiful, it is something that will come into manifest into your future. If your vision is nightmarish, do not take it seriously. Just allow it to transmute, to pass. Those are dark shadows that needs to be evacuated. We have to discern only that which is true, that which is beautiful, that which is good is real. Everything else is an illusion, for only the love of God is real. Then on the crown chakra, you can, to open this center, you want to imagine a disc of white light that is spinning above your head, and you concentrate on that, and then you can always allow it to enter from your higher spirit self to let information comes in. So the channel can be entering through the crown or through the heart. It depends on how, when people do channeling. And so the Neptune governs the sixth chakra, and the seventh chakra those are the most important chakras, because they open ourselves to the higher realm. And here it's governed by Uranus. And here we have friendship. For friendship is very important. We're going to be making new friends. We're gonna find old friends. Maybe friendship is essential in value for even the whole spirit realm. Is this love, this unconditional love, is a bond of friendship. Of course, it is. We are children of God, therefore there is this family relationship, but the bond is through friendship. All the ascended master, the angels, the archangels, all the gods, even our first relation to God is a father and a friend. First a friend, friendship. This is so it is very important to also to be open to new friends. It's like with all those treasures through friendship. But it's not also not to have too many friends. It's not about friends on social media, where like people that you meet on I mean, because if you have like if you spend all your time with those thousands of people that you could have on social media, that means that do not know you, and then you neglect your real friends, then it creates an imbalance. So be true to your friends as well. Be there for your friends also. And what comes from the earth, it's below our feet, about about 12 inches below our feet. We have called the Earth Star. The Earth Star is what anchors us into the earth. For all this body is connected to this field of love that's created by the earth, and then we manifest this physical body, and then it is the light of the sun that is being translated. That is the combination of those 2 points makes it possible for us to have this experience in physicality. And here we have the request. So there will be requests that will be coming up. So it is about asking. It's about learning to ask and to receive. For as we ask, we receive. It's about being clear about what we ask, to be careful of not to be asking the wrong thing. So just be as wise as possible, but also to know what your soul and your spirit is asking of you, so they can follow that. Then we have a silver star above our head, about 12 inches, called the soul star, and it is something that we share with our future self, our higher self, and always tuning as much as possible to tune into this frequency and let the energy, the silver light, come into your body, get you upgrade from there. And here we have humility. For we have to get a sense of self. It's like fake it until you make it in this God self. But be humble. We cannot. If you're not humble, you will be. The fall will be. The fall will follow it. So if we stay humble, we are. It's much easier. In the I Ching it says life is easy for a modest person. Somebody who's not modest has a lot more difficulty. So learn to be satisfied with. You can always ask for what you need, but be content with what you have in many sense. Because just the fact that we have our eyes, we have our hands, we have our health, we have all those things that we have. Even though sometimes we feel we don't have everything we would need or want, but the universe will provide as soon as we're ready. So stay humble, and you continue to be yourself, to sign on self, be true, to know what is acceptable for you, to know what's true for you. And because certain things that can be true for somebody may be completely wrong for somebody else. Then we're going to look at 3 more chakras that are, because the chakras are aligned on the vertical axis, and we'll learn that freedom will be found when our consciousness can move through this vertical axis. And here above in about I would say a few miles up in the atmosphere, in the upper atmosphere, there is the Earth chakra. It is a chakra that connects us to the whole planetary experience. And here we have justice. So there will be. It's about balance. The great goddess Themis. It's about fire. There will be justice for this justice has been put on hold for a few millenniums on the earth. There's been for a long time. There's been a path of darkness, but now divine justice is returning, and so now there will be an equilibrium. There's going to be a cleansing that will be happening on our solar chakra. Beyond that, at the center of the sun, we have another chakra that is happiness. So it is about happiness, and then in our galactic center, we have abundance, and so we have abundance, and so the more we are able to draw down this love and light from those higher chakras into our physical body, the faster the cleansing, the faster the integration will be. And then our omni-universal chakra is triumph. For there is the prime creator has decided to change this parameter of the earth. For the earth has suffered enough. She's a living being. She's a beloved mother. But humans have been disregarding this aspect of her. So I wanted to offer a few more advice. First is to go with the flow. Always breathe, empty your mind, call on your creator self. I am that I am, or I thank you, beloved creator, to free me, to bring me into a state of alignment, to bring me a state of abundance. You can do that mentally, for God knows the intention is a lot more. Even if that's why I said fake it till you make it, because God knows your intention. If you try to be perfectly good, perfectly true, perfect, even if you don't succeed right away, God knows you're trying, and because you're trying, even if you're trying and you're not doing it right, you will not get the result. But by trying, God will know your intention and will provide the circumstances so you can align and adjust, and eventually things are getting a lot easier. They're just advices on things I know would be function. So it is about adjusting each and every day to whatever our soul and spirit wants us to adjust and align. We are here to show the way, but everybody has to do its personal work. It's like a life is like a banquet of consciousness, but we do not want to pre-chew the food for others. They have to choose and select what they eat, how they're going to integrate it. Everybody has to develop his own free will and decision, for it is a planet of free will. And so free will means even those who do choose to go against the light or to live who do not want to hear about this ascension process, let them go. Do not try to force them into anything or to put them into a mold. They will come to discover that when it is their time. Right now we're living our bodies in the third dimension, and our mind and emotion is in the fourth dimension, but soon we're going to move our body into the fourth dimension, and our mind and emotion will be in the fifth dimension. We'll be whole, we'll be integrated. It's like on a piano, we're moving on different octave of life, of light, of love, and so we're moving up one octave. And once we move into this fifth dimensional matrix of mind, there is only one mind, and we're all sharing within this cosmic mind, within the one mind. We all share. We're going to discover the wholeness navigator to navigate within this wholeness and return to our sovereign self. All of it is moving towards resolution on the collective level, towards resolution and oneness. I wanted also to offer to remind you that there is always something that is very useful no matter what we pass through. When we have the need to align, to stabilize, to feel good, is to use the mantra Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum. It is a sound that brings us back to the center, to the reality of the home. The home is it's a sacred mantra that's been made dynamic by the Tibetan language, but this mantra is very powerful. I already spoken about this rainbow bridge, and it's to create this rainbow bridge to ascend into the sunlight, and so to bring this light back into ourselves. Also understand that even the darkest soul on the earth are children of light. They all come from God. Everybody, even those who do not have the I Am presence, who are so disconnected from anything that is true, beautiful, and good, as they have God within themselves. They have, at the deepest part of themselves, there is only one God, and everybody has this divine light within themselves. They're all part of that, and God is all powerful. He can choose to change anything at any time. His power is absolutely without limit. Why does it do it? Because the soul have to choose and grow through its choices. It is part of the process. So we have to let people make their own decision. Yeah. I also wanted to say, but God is all powerful. He's the only power there is. If we're going to say, well, no, on earth there is all kinds of power, but those are temporary power. The illusion of power. If those temporal power are given to men to see what they do with those powers, and then they have to face the consequences of their action. Often it's from one life to the next. But in many sense, right now the time is accelerated, it's compressed, and so now the karma is really going fast. And so those who are into external power, who recognize only external power, will suffer a great deal from the whatever they do will reflect to them really quickly, to force them to address the inner issue. For the only true power is power over self, over yourself. It's not the power over others. And so there is two groups that are being separated: the power over others and the power over self. And so you want to, if you want to move into the ascension, you want to let go of this power, external power, and try to and do what you can to align yourself in this power, integrate this power. For God is omnipotent. Does all things. He does the impure and he does the pure. Everything is part of a process that is used by God in His eternal wisdom to educate men. God is omniscient. He knows good and he knows bad. He knows all things. He knows if he didn't know the darkness and the evil, and he could not call himself omniscient. Yet it is not his choice. It can never be associated with anything dark or wrong. For he's not omniscient. He's not the one who makes all the choices. He makes the choice to allow life to become, but since there is an infinity of will that are inferior to the will of God, it means that all the choices are not personal choice of God. We have to make the differentiation between omnipotent and omniscient, which just wanted to make that little so understand. You want to align, you want to give a personality or a presence of your God self through your own personality. You want to integrate that's the highest path, the highest path I know but there are many aspects. There is not one way that is right or wrong. Everybody has to define, choose what they want to do with their life, how they live. It's like God is fully open, and it is just what we seek is to be free from illusion, free from suffering, free from karma, and so we want to be able to contribute. For service becomes an increasingly important the more we ascend, the more we realize that serving life as a whole is it becomes increasingly more gratifying as well, for we are all one. So the more we are able to serve the world, for it is a collective thing that we are going on here. We are all growing together. It is not any one ego that will make it happen. It is the power of the God self that is awakening into countless human beings, and at some point it will create a crescendo that will shift the whole process. And God only knows, but it can happen in an instant as well. We're moving towards this great event. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. The last thing I wanted to say also is that no technology will ever accelerate the ascension. In the contrary, it will slow it down. It's what destroyed Lemuria. It's what destroyed Atlantis. It's because people were trying to use shortcuts, technological shortcuts, to achieve higher level of integration. So the more we are disconnected from technology, the higher, the fastest our DNA will ascend. Yet we have to find a balance and utilize technology, but not to depend on it and to believe that it's by creating this kind of magical, these advanced galactic technologies they will resolve a lot of problems in terms of ecology, in terms of they will put an end to the destruction of the planet. They will put an end to need for they will create they will assist us when they come to create a world of peace and where everybody can live in abundance, but it is not really what will make the ascension. For the ascension has to come from within, from our personal choice and our personal work. Only our personal work has value. And so I'm going to pull a few cards. Maybe I should show you that. Well, this one is almost finished, I think. It's a painting. Here is Mother Earth. And so this last time I put this she's like shining as the sun here, and it says I am, and there's the emerald heart of Regulus, and then there's this galactic logo that is coming down towards the Earth, and there's the moon and all the many planets of the solar system. I'm not really sure if it's completely finished, but it's moving forward. And here, of course, is this one also. I've already spoken about this one. This one it's going to be really nice. They're taking a long time, but when they finish them, really is like. So to me, they're very important paintings. And this one is a scene. It's getting together as well. There is all kinds of details that are coming. It is not quite finished, but I have to be very patient, and then. And eventually it's just a matter of little details. Yet I have a few hundred paintings that I'm working, a few dozen paintings that I'm working on, but I have hundreds and hundreds of paintings that are finished. So if any opportunities to show them would come up, I'm not depending on those particular paintings to do an exhibition, of course. I'm going to pull a few more cards. Just from the Akash and see. I hope you find this video interesting. I wanted to come and discuss those subjects, a spiritual subject on ascension, for it is not what the mainstream of society, but more and more people have to tune into those, are becoming interested, are awakening to this divine nature, for we know that there is more to life than what we've been taught, and so we have to make those discovery, and we have to help each other, to assist each other, move into this unity consciousness. The highest wisdom for us today is to live or to travel. All my bags are packed, I'm ready to go. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to travel? So trust, know that traveling is really good. It helps us to see what's going on in other places in the world. So it's about being free to travel, for there is a great deal of opportunities that will be showing itself up in the immediate future. What we need to understand is the Celtic. It's how to connect to these magical kingdoms, the magical kingdoms of the earth, the Mother Earth. We have to balance out the mental and our emotional. The emotional being feminine, the mental being masculine, and we all have that, whether we're men or women, and through the contact to the natural kingdom, the natural spirit, to be connected to all the forces of nature, and this understanding of the power of the trees, the power of nature. There is all kinds of elementals and all kinds of communities that are invisible in fourth, fifth dimensional elementals that are awaiting us, and so we just want to tune in and to be have this great nature here next to my window. And so I tune in very often, and we have developed some friendship with some trees. So it's tuning in. Also, what does that mean for you? Also, Celtic is reconnecting to a life where a simple life that we had in the past. What we need to do is the finance. We have to be grateful for the finance that is coming to us, for this abundance of finance, for we need to create that, to be free from having to worry about finance. So it is very important to resolve that and to ask God to bring us into alignment, to be into abundance, in abundant state, so we can it is not about being materialist, or it's about being able to utilize money as a flow, as an energy, and to know that we deserve to live in abundance, to have an abundance of money. And the outcome will be to the scribe or the writer. We want to take note. We want to communicate through writing. Writing is important. I'm still working on my the translation of my English my book, but I do want to write another one. But in a sense, I want the first. It's already finished in French, so I want to publish it. But then, as soon as I can, I'm going to also do that in English. It's going to be a book with many illustrations. So it's all in the process this year. It's all coming up. I'm going to finish with this song that went through my mind. I think it's a folk song. It's called Heart of Gold. A bit of tea. I want to live, I want to give. I've been a miner for a heart of gold. It's these expressions I never give that keeps me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old. keeps me searching for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old. I've been to Hollywood, I've been to Redwood, I've crossed the ocean for a heart of gold. I've been in my mind, it's such a fine line that keeps me searching for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old. Keeps me searching for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old. You keep me searching for a heart of gold, and I'm growing old. I've been a miner for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old. You keep me searching for a heart of gold. I've been a miner for a heart of gold. Well, thank you very much. I hope it was taking till the end. I wish you a wonderful day. I hope you find this video interesting. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.